All right, so moving forward, if I get your attention, Eric, I'm going to need you to put that phone away. So we talked earlier about arc cosine, okay? Um, remember that, this weird thing right here? Where we did plus or minus inverse cosine and then plus 2 pi n. Okay, huh? To the negative 1 because it's the inverse cosine, not the cosine. Because we're trying to get rid of the cosine. Okay, sometimes, of course, when you are doing problems, you have to solve things that don't use cosine. They might use sine or tangent instead, okay? So we're going to do the same basic idea that we did in that section, but we're going to do it with sine and tangent instead of cosine. Does that kind of make sense? So it's something that you really have learned before and are familiar with, all right? Okay, so let's cut to the chase here. Oh, first of all, I can't remember, have we talked about interval notation in this class before? All right, so you learned when you were little math children to do this less than, greater than stuff, right? But that's a little bit confusing. To remember which way the arrow's pointing, all that kind of stuff, and it's a weird symbol to write. So big, old, smart, real math people, instead of using inequalities, use what's called interval notation. And that's when you put it in brackets. So this right here, 0, comma 4 pi, means the same as x is between 0 and 4 pi. Yeah, I feel like we've been through this. Oh, you learned it last year, Mr. Bates. Good. Okay, that's fine. Okay, what you could write down is this part right here, okay? So the difference is here, I'll write them out a little bit bigger to emphasize. 0, we'll talk about that in a minute. 0 to 4 pi with square brackets means, I am out of paper, yeah, sorry. Means 0 is less than or equal to x and is less than or equal to 4 pi, okay? So the square brackets means it could also be equal to that. The round brackets, like the next one, means that it's greater than or less than, but not equal to. Does that distinction make sense? Okay, I'll give you guys a quick sec to copy that down. So I just want to make sure you understand the difference between the square brackets and the round brackets. The square brackets means, right, the round ones are, yep, good. That's what, okay, good. That's what we got going on over here. The round brackets means it's like an open circle, and the square brackets means it's like a closed circle. Okay? No wonder. Okay, so you can also have one of each, is what Eric is pointing out. So if I have a square bracket on this side and a round bracket on that side, then that means it can equal 0, but it has to be less than but not equal to 4 pi. Okay? So that's, yeah, half open interval. Or you could, of course, switch this around and make the other one be closed. So that means can't be 0, can be 4 pi. All right? I'm going to do a couple examples. Open, close. All right, so will you please, on your papers, using, thanks Kai, interval notation, Olivia and Danica, will you guys write 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 3? Yeah, should be pretty easy. How do you do that using interval notation? Close brackets on both. So this is 0, 3. Okay? All right, let me throw this at you. And those of you guys who had the benefit of having Mr. Bates' class last year, maybe this will be easy for you. What if I just said x is greater than or equal to 4? Nope. There you go. So greater than or equal to 4 means I'm going to start at 4, and I'm going to use a closed bracket because it could equal 4, and then I'm going to go to infinity. Question, right, infinity always, very good, gets a round bracket because you can never get to infinity, okay? Same thing would be if I switch this around and said x is less than 6. How would I write that using interval notation? I'd have an open bracket, and then I would have, what did you say? Open bracket what? Not infinity, negative infinity, and then to 6. Okay? And in this case, since it's x is less than 6 but not equal to 6, it's also a round bracket. Because negative infinity is less than 6, infinity is greater than 4. So if it's a less than, I have to use negative infinity. Okay? All right, so I'm trying to find the, okay, here we go. So here are the equivalent ones that we did that we're going to use for sine and for tangent. And you guys already have the arc cosine one written down, but if you want it all on the same page, then you could do that. So you will notice that each one of these has two things. This is the one to use if you're in degrees. Oh, wait. I don't want you to do part of this. Because it's an unnecessary mess. Okay, so this is if you're in degrees. And this is if you are in radians. Okay? Again, this is degrees, and this is radians, because 360 is the same as 2 pi. Yeah. Oh, okay, yes, plus 360 degrees and